This video was a VCR from Cinema Theory in Busan. It is the only Cinema Theory video to have been officially released. Let's dissect this final assertion of the union of the YY girls. First, the quote in the beginning. It is from the second book in Douglas Adams' series The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, the restaurant at the end of the universe. It is a very popular series. I actually went out and purchased a copy for myself in order to better understand the implications of this quote, but aside from this one brief exchange between the characters Ford and Arthur, there is no further allusion to the Garden of Eden. Of course, the quote BBC used is actually just an excerpt from a brief conversation. Ford was contemplating eating fruit that was on the trees in the woods they were journeying through. Since it was on a foreign planet, they had no way of knowing whether it was poisonous or not. They decide to eat it because it is there for them to eat. Either it kills them, or it doesn't. But either way, they would have finally eaten some food on this particular day. That's when Ford brings up the story of Adam and Eve and the Garden of Eden, as he is reminded of it due to the fact ripe fruits they technically were forbidden to eat. He says, your God person puts an apple tree in the middle of a garden and says, do what you like guys, oh, but don't eat the apple. This is where the quote ends in the video, but not the book. Ford then says, surprise, surprise, they eat it, and he leaps out from behind a bush shouting, got ya. It wouldn't have made any difference if they hadn't eaten any. Arthur then asks, why not? To which Ford replies, because if you're dealing with somebody who has the sort of mentality which likes leaving heads on the pavement with bricks under them, you know perfectly well they won't give up. They'll get you in the end. If you don't know what the brick in the hat trick is, it was an April Fool's Day prank from the 1800s, when it was commonplace to kick an old head on the street. Someone brilliantly put a brick beneath one, and just silently watched people kick the brick brimhead all day in silent amusement. So that's what Ford is trying to say about God and this garden. Whether it was our conscious decision that led us to sin, or our predestined fate, it didn't matter. It was God's intention for Adam and Eve to eat the fruit, because God designed them as humans, and would know the fault in their existence. When they ate the fruit, they became godlike in the sense that they knew the difference between wrong and right, but they became less than God. Beneath him in the world. For there is only one God, and he knew this. God left the forbidden apple tree in the Garden of Eden knowing that Adam and Eve would disobey him. It's like leaving a plate of scraps in the middle of the room, but telling a dog to sit and stay. It's innate in human nature for humans to sin, to be egotistical, and disobey. That is why God left us that plate of scraps in the middle of the garden in the first place. But aside from that, let's talk about what you're seeing from the Eden girls. We first see Chu, wearing white, walking into the darkness. This foreshadows the events that are about to unfold. Again, white shows purity, and darkness shows oncoming doom and evil. The song that begins to play is the Secret Song. Its lyrics focus on inner peace, a secret place, an oasis. This place sounds a lot like the Garden of Eden, the place where our YY girls reside. Then, Eve is the girl that opens the door. Again, more door imagery. Doors represent the divide between good and evil. And it is especially important to note that Eve is the girl opening this door, as she was the first girl to reject Eden, as we saw from New, and when she opened the forbidden door in love forever. We then see the word faith after Eve. Eve was the girl with faith in herself, enough to fall from Eden. Faith is a positive quality among humans. Next, we see Chu pick up the apple. Her dress is now black, and her apple is still green. We know that the green apple just reflects her immaturity and childish mannerisms. The dress is now black because she has picked up the apple, which was forbidden. She is going to sin, and give in to evil and the darkness. Love is the word related to Chu. Love is what inspired True to disobey God and fall from Eden, as she was in love with Eve. Love is also a positive human quality. Then, in walks the royal Gowan. Our blonde-haired girl is enlightened due to her golden locks, and it is no coincidence that the room she enters is lit up by sunlight. Again, light is knowledge, enlightenment, but also represents goodness and holiness. The room is huge, with a massive chandelier and many religious paintings on the wall. The chandelier again represents Gowan's crown, and the religious paintings allude to her holiness. The word hope is related to Gowan. Gowan had hope in herself and her capabilities and status, and rejected Eden in pursuit of it. Hope is also a positive quality of human nature. Gowan then enters a dark room, where the music loops again. This looping shows the girls' unison. They are one, in a continuous cycle. We see Olivia in the mirror, wearing white. As we've discussed, the mirror reflects what we see, it reflects ourselves. Mirrors are for self-understanding and seeing oneself clearly. Anger is the word associated to Olivia. Surprise, surprise. We know why she is angry. Eve was not patient with her. Anger is also one of the worst characteristics of human nature. It can lead us to be egotistical, hateful, violent, or aggressive, all morally wrong responses. But human beings are complex. They can't just be good, and they can't just be bad. The Eden girls are one. Some of them represent good aspects of the self, and some bad, but all of those characteristics are central to a human being and to the self. To understand yourself and see clearly your self-image, you must come to terms with even your most undesirable traits. Otherwise, you cannot become whole. I don't need no Garden of Eden. Those are lyrics from one end only. Except in this context, they are resentful. We don't need Eden. We don't need a haven. We don't need somebody trying to define us and direct our fate based on that definition. What we need is self-thought and self-love. And the only way to harness that self-love is to come to terms with ourselves. With our whole self. Every aspect of our being into one. First of all, if you have made it this far, I want to congratulate and thank you. I began this project on June 23, 2018, and now, at the tail end of October, I am just preparing my synopsis on the pre-debut era lore. Like most of the complex, classic literature that you or I have read, there is lots of symbolism, allusions, and plot points. But there is always a central theme in the novel. There is always one idea that the author is trying to convey, and it is no different in Loona's work. The girls are sharing a story with us, one about the many different aspects of love. The central message of Loona's lore isn't space, alternate universes, transcending planes, gods, demons, robots, or new genetic makeup. Nay, the central message is about love and how it affects our lives in different ways, especially in young girls. The heart of a young girl is complex. It can feel pain, excitement, anger, fear. But the strongest emotion is love. Love for our friends, for our hobbies, movies, crushes. Love will trump all other emotion, whether it be an innocent love or crush on someone. A love that drives us to be confident in ourselves and chase the one we love, or a self-love that will lead us to security in ourselves and our capabilities. Love is always here. And love is always healing. Sometimes we will feel heartbreak and distress. Sometimes we will feel lonely and isolated. And sometimes we will feel angry at ourselves and who we are, but those are just emotions. And love is the strongest emotion we can feel, and it can heal all of our pain. It is important for girls to be confident in themselves and the love they share with their friends and family. It is important for girls to think for themselves. They need to be the ones who define how they will live their lives, how they will think, how they will label themselves, and how endlessly they will love. No one else can decide who we love, who we are, and how we think and act. Loona are telling us this precious and important story through their songs, and through the emotions of the songs. And this is why I love Loona and will always support them. Firstly, I don't want mediocrity in the media I consume. This goes for all types of media, from all different regions. I want depth. Sure, it requires a base level of attention to watch a group dance and sing in cool outfits and bright colors. But it requires further thinking, attention, and devotion in order to fully even begin to get something out of Loona. They always have something new to offer. The talent and aesthetic of each girl is so varying, every new piece of work is refreshing. The creativity and passion that is woven into their work is simply magnificent and addicting. They are trailblazers not only of love, but of music and aesthetic alignment in their videos, concepts, and styling. I truly believe that their storytelling and their work will not just be to draw attention. It is a cause they believe in and fight for. The Loona girls are the patrons of love. They're like real-life Sailor Scouts, inspiring love and empowerment into young girls. I truly cannot wait to see what part of the story they want to share next. Our girls of the month are truly going into orbit. If you enjoyed this video, please consider donating to my Patreon. I work a full-time job, and donations could help me focus more on doing further analysis on the lore. I love analyzing literature in general, so I will be making theory videos anyways. But donations can help. Also, please look out for my high analysis coming soon. My original plan was to get this video out before debut in August, but that didn't quite happen. I have a lot of theories about it, so please look out for that. Just one more thing. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. I know I disappeared for a bit to focus on this monster project, but I plan on being very active in the community and posting theories. So, if you enjoy my content, join the fam. Again, thank you for watching. This is a video for the fans. I've been here since 2016, and I've seen Loona come together. I just wanted to share my thoughts on it. Let me know which of these analyses were your favorite. Or if you agree, disagree, or want to add on, comment as well. Thank you. Until next time. Loona Beauty.